Okay, so we're back. Apparently, according to biblical scholars, and if you're reading the Bible in chronological order, after Genesis 11, you should go to Job because his time period is a little after they try to build the Tower of Babel and the Babel situation. So I went to Job 1 through 5. So that's what I read today. And in Job 1 through 5, we learn about Job. He is an uprighteous man who lives for God, praises God regularly, has a lot of riches, money, cattle, land, kids, 10 kids, 7 sons, 3 daughters, I think, or somewhere in there. Um, and in the Bible, it describes that every time they have a birthday, the kids have basically huge parties where they drink wine and feast all night long. And it says, the next day, um, Job would sacrifice, you know, a sheep or animal to God for each child individually in case they heart turned or said some negative things towards God. So these are like just in case sacrifices that he makes unto the Lord on behalf of his children. And it says that he does this regularly. Okay, so moving on, after the Bible introduces Job, it goes into, I'm looking at my notes, that, oh, the angels came to visit God, and so did Satan. I'm like, what? How he get up there? But okay, maybe he's still an angel at the time. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the fall of Satan yet. But anyway, it seemed like he should have failed because he was evil. He doing bad stuff, right? But charged by God. So I guess it's, obedience. But anyway, so yeah, Satan says, I've been going back and forth across the earth. So this part kind of had me chuckling a little bit because God said, have you considered my servant Job? Because first of all, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Why you sitting and Satan my way? My mind is not like God's mind, whatever. He's good and perfect. And so I'm just like, Job was down there minding his own business, living a good life. And here come, here comes Satan, just looking for trouble. And here go God. Have you considered my servant Job? So he gave Job to Satan, but he told him, you know, you could touch his possessions, you could touch everything, don't touch him. And so Satan basically said, bet, and took that man everything, his animals, his kids, his land, like just doing a lot and like killing everybody along the way too. And I'm just like, wow. It just was like the matter of seconds. It said that the messengers was coming like before the one could finish, the next one was coming. Before that one could finish, the next one was coming. And they're like, I was the only one that was spared. So that I could tell you, whatever. But it was like, wow, one tragedy after another. So then it goes into the next one. He's like, Job shaves his head and gets naked and says, I came into this world naked, I'll die naked, and basically just starts worshiping God. Like, all these terrible things are happening to me back to back to back to back. I'm still gonna give God the praise, right? So then Satan go back with the angels to see God. And so he's like, well, I'll let you, have you considered my servant Job? He asked that again. And I'm like, man, this man just went through a lot. Like, let him breathe. But this time God said, okay, well, you could touch his Bible. Satan said, bet. Gave this man like sores from the sole of his feet to the crown of his head. And I was thinking to myself, well, it's a good thing he just shaved his head, because could you imagine trying to shave your hair with sores on them and things like that nature? Like, that would be more difficult to do. So I was like, well, maybe he was onto something by shaving his head and stuff. So yeah, I don't know why I thought that, but that's what came to my mind. Like, ooh, good thing he shaved his head. Anyway, moving on. So Job is going through all of this, and then his friends come to visit him. He has 3 friends come visit him, and that brought to my mind how everybody say you can always count your friends on one hand. And these friends came with him, they sat with him in silence and everything. And Job was like, Job was there with his friends. They were sitting in silence, and then all of a sudden, one friend broke the silence and basically was telling him like, "You've provided encouragement and things to other people." Essentially, is what he was saying. So like, now it's your time to stand firm in that, and don't waver, and basically put all of these issues that you have before God, and let Him handle it. And that's where I left off at. And one thing that stood out to me, or one quote that stood out, was it says, resentment kills a fool and envy slays the simple. So I was like, ooh, I need to meditate on that a little further, because that's a word. But until next time, this Bible is good to me.